Ever wonder why everyone's raving about something that makes you want to disappear? Why do Friday night parties sound like torture when everyone else is pumped? If you're nodding along, you might be an INFJ, the rarest personality type that sees the world through a completely different lens. Today, we're uncovering 8 popular things that drive most people crazy with excitement but leave INFJs feeling absolutely drained. Trust me, you're not the problem here. Your brain just works differently, and that's actually your superpower. 1. Large social gatherings and parties. Picture this. It's Friday night, and your phone's buzzing with invitations to the hottest party in town. Everyone's talking about it, posting about it, and you can practically feel the excitement in the air. But here's the thing, while everyone else is getting pumped up, you're already feeling exhausted just thinking about it. INFJs aren't party poopers by choice. They're wired differently. When most people see a crowded room full of strangers, they see opportunity, excitement, and fun. When an INFJ sees the same scene, they see sensory overload, shallow conversations, and energy drain that'll last for days. The truth is, INFJs process social interactions much more intensely than others. Every conversation isn't just small talk. It's a deep dive into understanding the other person's emotions, motivations, and unspoken feelings. Imagine trying to do that with 30 people in a noisy room while music's blasting. It's like trying to have a heart-to-heart conversation in the middle of a tornado. What makes this even more challenging is that INFJs often feel pressured to attend these events. Society tells us that being social is good, that networking is essential, and that missing out means we're antisocial. But here's what people don't understand. INFJs aren't antisocial. They're selectively social. They'd rather have one meaningful conversation than 10 superficial ones. The energy drain from large gatherings isn't just about being tired the next day. It's about feeling emotionally depleted, overstimulated, and needing days to recover. While extroverts gain energy from these interactions, INFJs lose it faster than a phone battery on 1%. 2. Small talk and surface-level conversations. How's the weather? Did you see the game last night? Working hard or hardly working? If you're an INFJ, these questions probably make you want to scream internally. While the rest of the world seems perfectly content with these verbal exchanges, INFJs feel like they're slowly dying inside. Small talk serves a purpose in society. It's a social lubricant that helps people connect without getting too deep too fast. But for INFJs, it feels fake, meaningless, and like a complete waste of time. They're constantly thinking, why are we talking about the weather when we could be discussing what makes you feel truly alive? The problem isn't that INFJs can't do small talk. They can, and they're often quite good at it. The problem is that it drains their energy without providing any meaningful connection in return. It's like being forced to eat cotton candy when you're craving a home-cooked meal. INFJs crave depth in their conversations. They want to know about your dreams, your fears, your childhood memories that shaped you, and your thoughts about the meaning of life. They want to understand what makes you tick, not just what you did last weekend. This preference for deep conversation often makes INFJs seem intense or overwhelming to others. They might jump from, "How was your day?" to, "What's your biggest regret in life?" without realizing that most people need time to warm up to that level of vulnerability. The frustration builds when INFJs realize that most people aren't interested in going deeper. They'll try to steer conversations toward more meaningful topics, only to watch people's eyes glaze over or quickly change the subject back to safer, more superficial ground. 3. Trendy social media culture. Instagram stories, TikTok dances, viral challenges, and constant posting. While millions of people are obsessed with social media culture, INFJs often feel like they're watching from the outside, wondering what all the fuss is about. It's not that INFJs are technologically challenged or completely opposed to social media. Many of them use these platforms, but they approach them differently. While others are chasing likes, follows, and viral moments, INFJs are often overwhelmed by the superficiality and performative nature of it all. The constant need to document every moment, to create the perfect image, and to engage in endless scrolling feels exhausting to the INFJ mind. They're thinking, why are we pretending our lives are perfect when everyone's struggling with something? The disconnect between online personas and real-life experiences is painfully obvious to them. INFJs also struggle with the addictive nature of social media. Their intuitive minds can see how these platforms are designed to keep people hooked, and they're often disturbed by the psychological manipulation involved. While others are mindlessly scrolling, INFJs are analyzing the impact on mental health, authentic relationships, and genuine self-expression. The pressure to maintain an online presence can feel overwhelming. INFJs value authenticity above all else, so the idea of curating their life for public consumption feels fake and draining. They'd rather spend time on meaningful activities than figuring out the perfect caption or filter. When INFJs do post, they often overthink it. They'll spend way too much time crafting the perfect message, then second-guess themselves and delete it anyway. The whole process feels inauthentic and anxiety-inducing. 4. Crowded, noisy environments, busy shopping malls, packed concerts, bustling restaurants during peak hours. These environments that energize many people can be absolutely overwhelming for INFJs. It's not just about preferring quiet spaces. It's about how their brains process sensory information. INFJs are highly sensitive to their environment. They notice everything: the conversation happening 3 tables over, the flickering fluorescent light, the person sighing repeatedly in line, the overwhelming mix of perfumes and food smells. While others might filter out these details, INFJs absorb them all, leading to sensory overload. This sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's actually a superpower that comes with a price. INFJs can pick up on subtle changes in atmosphere, sense when someone's upset before they say anything, and notice details that others miss. But in crowded, noisy environments, this sensitivity becomes overwhelming. The problem is that modern life is full of these environments. From open-plan offices to busy restaurants, from shopping centers to transportation hubs, INFJs are constantly navigating spaces that weren't designed with their needs in mind. They're not being dramatic when they say these places are exhausting. They're literally processing more information than the average person. Many INFJs develop coping strategies like wearing noise-canceling headphones, choosing off-peak times for errands, or finding quiet corners in busy spaces. But they often feel like they're being high-maintenance or antisocial when they need these accommodations. The energy drain from these environments isn't just temporary. It can affect an INFJ's mood, productivity, and overall well-being for hours or even days afterward. What seems like a simple trip to the mall can leave them feeling like they've run a marathon. 5. Competitive and aggressive behavior, team sports, competitive gaming, workplace politics, aggressive networking. While many people thrive in competitive environments, INFJs often find them uncomfortable and draining. It's not that they can't be competitive. It's that they approach competition differently. INFJs are naturally collaborative rather than competitive. They're more interested in everyone succeeding together than in beating others. When they see aggressive behavior, trash talk, or win-at-all-costs mentalities, they often feel disconnected and uncomfortable. This doesn't mean INFJs are pushovers or lack ambition. They can be incredibly driven and successful, but they prefer to compete against themselves rather than against others. They're motivated by personal growth, making a meaningful impact, and aligning their actions with their values. The aggressive behavior that often comes with competition is particularly off-putting to INFJs. They can sense the underlying emotions, the insecurity, fear, or need for validation that drives aggressive behavior. Instead of being impressed by someone's competitive edge, they might feel sad for them or want to understand what's really driving that behavior. In workplace settings, INFJs often struggle with office politics and competitive colleagues. While others are playing the game, forming strategic alliances, and positioning themselves for advancement, INFJs are focused on doing good work and building genuine relationships. They often feel like they're speaking a different language. The energy it takes to navigate competitive environments can be exhausting for INFJs. They're constantly managing their own discomfort while trying to perform in systems that weren't designed for their collaborative nature. 6. Constant stimulation and busyness. "I'm so busy" has become a badge of honor in our society. People brag about their packed schedules, their lack of free time, and their ability to juggle multiple commitments. While others seem to thrive on constant stimulation and busyness, INFJs often feel overwhelmed and exhausted by this lifestyle. INFJs need downtime to process their thoughts and emotions. They're constantly absorbing information and feelings from their environment, and they need quiet time to sort through it all. The idea of filling every moment with activity feels suffocating to them. This need for downtime is often misunderstood by others. INFJs might be labeled as lazy, antisocial, or unmotivated when they prioritize rest and reflection. But this quiet time isn't optional for them. It's essential for their mental and emotional well-being. The constant stimulation of modern life can be particularly challenging for INFJs. Between work demands, social obligations, news cycles, and entertainment options, there's always something demanding their attention. They often feel like they're drowning in a sea of stimulation. Many INFJs have learned to say no to commitments that don't align with their values or energy levels. They've realized that being busy doesn't equal being productive or fulfilled. They'd rather do fewer things well than many things poorly. The pressure to constantly be productive or stimulated can create anxiety and burnout in INFJs. They need permission to rest, to be bored, and to have unstructured time. This isn't being lazy, it's being smart about managing their energy and maintaining their well-being. 7. Shallow entertainment and pop culture. Reality TV shows, celebrity gossip, mindless comedies, and viral internet content. While these forms of entertainment captivate millions, INFJs often find them boring, annoying, or even disturbing. It's not that they're snobs or think they're better than others. They're just wired to seek deeper meaning in everything, including their entertainment choices. INFJs are drawn to content that makes them think, feel, or grow. They want stories that explore complex themes, characters with depth, and entertainment that leaves them with something to ponder. A shallow sitcom or reality show drama often leaves them feeling empty or frustrated. The problem isn't just that INFJs find shallow entertainment boring. It's that they can see the impact it has on society. They notice how these shows might promote unhealthy values, unrealistic expectations, or harmful stereotypes. While others are laughing, INFJs are analyzing the underlying messages and their potential effects. This preference for deeper content can make INFJs feel isolated from popular culture. When everyone's talking about the latest reality show drama or viral TikTok trend, INFJs might feel like they're missing out on shared cultural experiences. But they'd rather feel left out than consume content that doesn't resonate with them. INFJs often gravitate toward documentaries, independent films, thought-provoking books, and podcasts that explore complex topics. They want entertainment that challenges them, teaches them something new, or helps them understand the human experience better. The challenge is finding like-minded people who share their taste in entertainment. INFJs might struggle to find others who want to discuss the philosophical implications of a film or the deeper meaning behind a song's lyrics. 8. Superficial networking and relationship building. It's not what you know, it's who you know. This saying might be true in many professional contexts, but it makes INFJs skin crawl. The idea of building relationships primarily for personal gain feels fake and manipulative to them. INFJs value authentic connections above all else. They want to get to know people as individuals, not as potential stepping stones to success. When they meet someone new, they're genuinely interested in learning about them, not in figuring out how that person can help their career. Traditional networking events are particularly challenging for INFJs. The emphasis on small talk, exchanging business cards, and making superficial connections goes against everything they value in relationships. They'd rather have one meaningful conversation than collect 50 business cards. This doesn't mean INFJs are bad at building professional relationships. In fact, they often excel at it because they approach it from a place of genuine interest and care. They build strong, lasting relationships based on mutual respect and shared values rather than transactional exchanges. The pressure to network can create anxiety for INFJs. They know that building professional relationships is important for career success, but they struggle with the artificial nature of traditional networking. They need to find ways to build connections that feel authentic to them. Many INFJs have found success in building relationships through shared interests, volunteer work, or professional organizations that align with their values. They're more comfortable connecting with people around common causes or interests rather than purely for professional gain. 9. The pressure to be on all the time. In our always connected world, there's constant pressure to be available, responsive, and on. While many people seem to thrive on this constant connectivity, INFJs often find it exhausting and overwhelming. INFJs need time to recharge and process their experiences. They can't be on all the time without burning out. The expectation to immediately respond to messages, be available for last-minute plans, or maintain constant social presence can be incredibly draining for them. This need for boundaries is often misunderstood by others. INFJs might be seen as flaky, antisocial, or unreliable when they need time to themselves. But this downtime isn't optional. It's necessary for their mental health and well-being. The constant pressure to be available can create anxiety and resentment in INFJs. They want to be supportive friends and reliable colleagues, but they also need to protect their energy and maintain their boundaries. Many INFJs have learned to set clear boundaries around their availability. They might turn off notifications during certain hours, schedule specific times for checking messages, or communicate their need for downtime to friends and family. 10. Loud, attention-seeking behavior. While some people love being the center of attention, making grand gestures, or being the loudest person in the room, INFJs often find this behavior uncomfortable and draining. It's not that they're jealous or judgmental. They're just wired to prefer quieter, more thoughtful approaches to communication and self-expression. INFJs tend to be quietly confident rather than loudly assertive. They prefer to let their actions speak for themselves rather than drawing attention to their accomplishments. When they're around people who are constantly seeking attention or validation, they often feel uncomfortable and drained. This preference for quieter behavior can sometimes work against INFJs in environments that reward loud, attention-seeking behavior. They might be overlooked for promotions, speaking opportunities, or leadership roles because they don't promote themselves as aggressively as others. The challenge for INFJs is learning to advocate for themselves without compromising their values or authentic communication style. They need to find ways to share their accomplishments and ideas that feel genuine to them. 11. The cult of positivity and good vibes only. Just think positive. Good vibes only. Everything happens for a reason. While these mantras are popular in our culture, INFJs often find them shallow and dismissive of real human experiences. INFJs understand that life is complex and that both positive and negative emotions serve important purposes. They're not pessimists, but they're also not willing to put on a fake smile and pretend everything is fine when it's not. The pressure to always be positive can be particularly harmful to INFJs, who often serve as emotional supports for others. They're naturally empathetic and want to help people process their feelings, but the good vibes only mentality can make them feel like they're not allowed to acknowledge pain or struggle. INFJs value authenticity over positivity. They'd rather have real conversations about difficult topics than pretend everything is perfect. They understand that growth often comes through facing challenges and processing difficult emotions. 12. Rapid decision-making and pressure to choose quickly. We need an answer now. Just pick one. Stop overthinking it. These phrases make INFJs want to run for the hills. While others might be comfortable making quick decisions, INFJs need time to process their options and consider all the implications. INFJs are natural planners who like to think through decisions carefully. They consider not just the immediate consequences but also the long-term implications for themselves and others. This thoughtful approach to decision-making is often misunderstood as indecisiveness or overthinking. The pressure to make quick decisions can create anxiety and stress for INFJs. They know that they make better choices when they have time to reflect, but they often feel pressured to decide before they're ready. This need for processing time can be challenging in fast-paced environments like business meetings, social situations, or even casual conversations. INFJs might feel like they're holding others up or being difficult when they need time to think. Conclusion: if you're an INFJ reading this, I hope you feel seen and understood. You're not weird, difficult, or antisocial. You're just wired differently. Your need for depth, authenticity, and meaningful connections isn't a flaw. It's a gift that the world desperately needs. The things that drain and frustrate you, the shallow conversations, the busy environments, the superficial entertainment, these don't align with your values and natural preferences. That's okay. You don't have to love what everyone else loves or apologize for needing different things. Your sensitivity, your need for downtime, your preference for depth over breadth, these aren't weaknesses to overcome. They're strengths to embrace and protect. The world needs people who think deeply, feel intensely, and care about authentic connections. To the non-INFJs watching this, I hope you've gained some insight into the INFJs in your life. They're not trying to be difficult or antisocial. They're just trying to navigate a world that often feels overwhelming and superficial to them. A little understanding and accommodation can go a long way in supporting the INFJs you care about. Remember, personality types aren't boxes that limit us. They're tools that help us understand ourselves and others better. Whether you're an INFJ or not, the most important thing is to honor your authentic self and create a life that aligns with your values and needs. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the INFJ experience. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And remember, in a world that often celebrates the loud and superficial, your quiet depth is exactly what we need.